Hey, in today's video, I would like to talk about making money online in today's economy. So, basically, I would like to talk about the underlying mechanisms of the online market and how it works. I think it's very important to share this because while many people talk about it on a surface level, I think they are just scratching the surface, and the topic is really deep, and isn't that black and white as many people portray it to be. And I think that many people, um, we're talking about people on YouTube, especially because that's where most of you hang out, and that's where you're watching this video. I think most of those videos are to get clicks and shares, etc., to get engagement and to basically to create drama, because drama is what causes more people to come in and click and share the videos. So my explanation might seem quite like a harsh critique, and in some ways it is, but I'm not here to judge you if you choose this path. I have chosen it myself after making six figures in SMMA, and after realizing that SMMA is a damn hard, annoying, stressful, and boring way to make money. It really is. And if you're doing SMMA and if you're succeeding in it, then good for you. But I'm 99% sure that after some time you will quit SMMA and you will probably move to be a coach, or maybe you will move in completely other area. But I realized that when I was starting with SMMA and online business, I actually realized that I was too moral for my own good, right? The sad truth about business is that business doesn't like empathy. Empathy is not good for business. And I'm going to explain a little bit more about that. And you might think like, this is not true? But if you really think about that and if you dig to the truth, you will discover that it is actually truth. If you want to grow business and if you want to create the monopole for your services or products, you will you will actually always be um, have to act like a predator. So I decided I had to adopt some Machiavellian tactics to succeed and make a difference. And the world is heading this way anyway, and most people are either too naive or too weak to see it, while others just take advantage of it. And to help you fully understand the concept, let me tell you about a known metaphor that says it goes like this: in a gold rush, sell shovels. But let's expand on this and relate it to the online market. So imagine someone discovers gold in the 19th century Alaska, right? Let's paint a picture. And naturally, lots of adventurers and different kinds of people will rush there to find gold and get rich. And what do smart people usually do? And not necessarily just smart. I don't want to paint a picture that you have to be smart to do this, because you don't have to. But you need to think differently. You need to basically stop being so moral, right? So what do smart people do? They sell shovels, and by that I also mean all the equipment needed for digging gold, etc., etc. So the gold might not even be there anymore, or maybe it was never there in the first place. The point is, if someone is making a lot of money from digging for gold, they they don't bother selling shovels, right? You might say, yeah, but it's another stream of income, which could be true, but wouldn't it be smarter to put all the resources into digging for gold if it's such a lucrative endeavor? Think about that. The problem is digging for gold isn't as lucrative as selling shovels. It requires hard labor, months or years of searching, defending from thieves, finding buyers, and most importantly, it's full of uncertainty. You might never find any gold. and it's hard work. It's actually a hard work. And I think this metaphor, using this metaphor, we can talk about the coaching industry, because coaching industry is like this, it's like digging for gold but on steroids. So online market actually takes this metaphor a few steps further. It opens up the phenomenon of the coaching industry and puts it on the steroids, as I said. So let's go back to the gold metaphor and imagine a guy who actually found gold, maybe even a lot of it. He knows it's hard and unpredictable work, but he's a crafty guy, so he writes a book and creates a course about how to dig for gold, where to find it, how to dig it from the ground, how to know it's a real gold, how to protect it from thieves, and how to find the best buyers, right? So he basically creates something like a course. You could compare it to the course. So he starts to market his course, and people from all over the country pay a lot of money to learn from him. And if he could do it, right, that's the thinking pattern of those people who buy from him. If he could do it, anyone can, right? And that's what he says as well. If I can do it, anyone can. And some lucky individuals succeed. Actually, some people always succeed. There will always be outliers, but most just come back home after months or years having wasted money, time, and effort. And some, regardless whether they actually found gold or not, come to the realization: why would they put so much effort into digging for gold? It's a hard work, and I found just a few crumbs. I would have to been in much better position by now if I just stuck to my job, right? And besides, so many people took this guy's course that soon there will be a whole city of gold diggers and no gold left. So they think, wait, I have an idea. I'll write a book and create a course just like the one I attended. So if this guy could create a course and sell it, then why wouldn't I? Even though I didn't find gold, or even though I found just a few crumbs, I can still fake it and I can make a lot of money selling the course. So the guy who taught me is clearly making millions from teaching people how to dig for gold. So why not doing it? Uh, why wouldn't I do that myself? And he knows that there is something unmoral about it, because after all he didn't profit from it. But now he will be pursuing others to do the same thing that he decided is not worth his effort. So the guy actually is not alone, and that's where we meet the problem of the coaching pyramid scheme, because many others decide to do the same thing, but soon someone takes it even further. They think people are tired of digging for gold, right? The unsuccessful ones went back and spread the word that it's not as easy as it sounds. Plus, there are already so many coaches teaching how to dig for gold. They realized it's more profitable than digging, right? Selling courses is actually more profitable than digging for gold. Wait, what if I do something else? What if I go even step further and start teaching people how to make money by creating a course on how to dig for gold, right? That way I tap into a completely new market. So can you see where do I go with it? Soon people realize that making courses and coaching is the best way to make money. And that's how the phenomenon of coaching, of coaches who coach coaches on how to coach coaches, has its roots in. Basically, people always realize that doing the actual thing is less profitable than teaching how to do it. That's where the saying comes from, in a gold rush sell shovels, right? The problem is that gold is scarce, and if too many people start digging for it, the resources run out. But the number of people who want to make money never runs out. And that's where the real gold is. People who come, who are get rich hungry. It's basically a pyramid scheme. So imagine the person on the top. he's bringing people who want to make money, and let's say he brings 100 people, and from that 100 people probably only 3 will succeed, and only 3 will bring more money, more people, but those 3 people also bring 100 more people, and it basically works like a pyramid. And it's an infinite pyramid scheme. Coaches at the bottom teach more and more new coaches how to make money, and most of them realize the best way to make money is to teach others how to make money, right? And this creates an economy of people who don't produce anything valuable. That's the problem. They don't provide any real value to the economy. It's just this fake balloon of money, of people who don't really provide anything to the economy. Can you see where I'm going with it? They don't produce any value. They basically suck the value out of the system in some cases. And yeah, they might work hard, but they don't provide value. They don't provide actual value. They provide value for themselves, yeah, and they actually can provide value to their families. So that's a good thing, but I don't think it's a good thing for the world, right? But let's leave it. Let's go back to today's world, and let's actually. I told you that it might seem like a critique, but I'm not so sure that it's so bad. So I wanna create a counter argument to my point. So I wanna create a point in defense of the free market, because what I just told you about, this is actually a natural mechanism of the free market. There will always be other markets created on the existing ones. So, in my opinion, coaching coaches how to coach coaches occurs in a free market with weak moral values. But free market isn't a problem. Weak people are the problem. And here is my problem and sort of a moral dilemma with it. Imagine a guy who tries to build his marketing agency slash freelancing business, but he realizes that it's a really hard work and it requires delivering real value for his clients, increasing their revenue by ramping up sales, leads, etc. Right? It's actually real hard work, and he or she need a lot of experience, and they need um, a lot of working experience and a lot of knowledge to actually deliver that, to help other businesses to make money. And then he joins a coaching course that teaches him how to build his personal brand and come up with some other ideas. Um, Namely, release a course or create done with you program. So he usually decides, and I've seen it many times actually. I've been doing those programs and I've seen it many times. So he decides to sell shovels and starts to teach others how to create an agency or how to improve mindset, or even better, he starts coaching coaches how to coach coaches, right? So this is a natural mechanism. It's a natural way. It's like water. It goes through where there are least amount of obstacles. The water always finds a way. The same way people operate in a free market. When someone sees that resume is really hard, like it's hard to work with those people, with those business owners. They are usually not as easy to sell as the get rich quick young people are. It's harder to sell to them. It's harder to deliver, and then they think, well, why would I work so hard? Um, why wouldn't I just create a course or coaching program, and I sell to these people who are very easily impressionable, those young get rich quick people who want really bad to make money, and that's what they are doing. Uh, the problem is with that is that the problem I have with that is that this approach, it just lacks substance. It's based on a lie, because this person hasn't achieved any success, and he didn't actually implement his experience but just regurgitates information from people like Sam Ovens, Alex Hormozy, and others alike. And now, in theory, if his content can really help others, then there should be nothing wrong with that, right? But this still doesn't sit right with me because the noble thing here to do would be to get back to agency, achieve success there, and then go back on the path on helping others to do it, right? But that's not what happens. Instead, what happens is that said person switches to selling coaches and courses, and as a result, you have a coach and content creator who teaches others how to improve their mindset, but lacks the real world success and experience. And I've seen it many times, as I said. I've seen posts on groups from people that are looking for advice. They didn't even get their like the post goes like, please help me get my first client. I can't get any client, or I got a client and I lost a client, and then I see them literally DMing me and offering their services. They offered me to help me get more clients and to help me. They tried to sell me the Done with You program, where they will help me to start and scale my agency. How the fuck? How they haven't done them themselves? They failed, and now they're gonna teach me how to do it. All right. So you see the problem, and it just doesn't sit right with me, and it seems like taking the easy path and almost like it's like taking easy path and like selling yourself. A good example here would be, yeah, like as I said already, in short, people realize that selling coaching to people who want to start their own agency is a better business than having an agency. After all, marketing and selling to less sophisticated buyers, so those get rich quick crowd, allows for using very emotional strategies that said audience reacts strongly to, and it also allows for effective brand building. It's much easier to grow YouTube channel targeted towards coaching clients than towards dentists or contractors or real estaters or etc. Right? The target audience is so much bigger, and they're so much more susceptible to all those to marketing and sales tactics. Um, but do you know what's even better? Going one step further and selling coaching to coaches who then go on and coach agencies, right? Quite brilliant. And after a while, you have famous coaching coaches who coach coaches how to coach coaches, which becomes an economy on its own. And it just seems like a bit of an inauthentic and lacking substance and integrity economy to me that doesn't provide any substantial or real value, as I said already. And if you look carefully, it's just as I said, it's like a pyramid scheme, with those at the bottom losing or having to coach actual real world businesses with real world problems. Um, the issue is that those coaches can solve those problems because they and those who teach them are disconnected from the practical real world challenges that those businesses face, right? Now, I am all in favor of free market capitalism, and I know that a healthy system should produce new markets. And the issue I'm describing still isn't as bad as what perfectly legal and socially accepted enterprises are doing, like banking, trading, big pharma, food industry, etc., to name a few. And maybe I'm just too idealistic and just too moral and mistakenly in favor of the real world products and services in a world where AI might soon replace most of the current jobs. And in the changing landscape, people have to adapt and perhaps reevaluate what constitutes valuable and authentic work, right? So here's my concern about the creator economy, right? Because it became very spoken about topic lately. People like Danko, people like Hamza, and many others are really talking about that and pushing that. And my concern also applies to the whole creator economy, where individual entrepreneurship and digital platforms give people opportunities to pursue their passions and become creators, but there is something that bugs me about the societal value of this trend, right? Particularly when compared to the pursuit of more traditional real world industries. And I'm not saying that we should all be labor workers, but I struggle a bit with the idea of this digital creator abstract thing. Um, think about that. Currently in the US, many teenagers aspire to become YouTubers or influencers. And in contrast, in countries like China, there's strong emphasis on pursuing careers in engineering and other technical fields. And this raises questions about priorities of a society and its impact on its future. So you can think about those two societies, and you can think about which one will which society will be stronger, which society will be more developed, which society will produce better technology, which society will be more advanced. Society that produce silly YouTubers like Mr. Beast or Island Brothers, however they're called. I'm sure you probably know what I'm talking about. Basically, silly entertainment, right? Or those coaching coaches to coach coaches, which can you see what I'm talking about here? I'm sure you know. I'm sure you can see. It doesn't provide real value to the economy. But let me let me provide a counter argument here. Um, because the classical economic theory might argue that individuals pursuing their passions, even in the digital space, contribute to a diverse and dynamic marketplace. And it's true. If you think about that, it's true. Think about, I'm sure if you know anything about economy, you're probably familiar with Adam Smith. And Adam Smith's invisible hand theory suggests that individuals acting in their self interest, so let's say Mr. Beast, collectively contribute to the overall welfare of society. And in this context, the creator economy, with its emphasis on personal expression and individual entrepreneurship, might be seen as a positive force. However, if a significant portion of the population is primarily engaged in the creator economy, there could be concerns about the nation's ability to compete globally in industries requiring technical expertise like innovation and infrastructure, technology, um, etc. And if you compare those two countries, you can argue which one will be stronger. And if you're someone who values the freedom that United States of America provides, and if you don't want to end up in a communistic country like China, then maybe it's a good thing to consider doing something valuable for the economy, working for the economy to grow, right? We've already seen this during COVID crisis when so many articles and products became widely expensive or unavailable in the Western world because of the problems with the supply chain. And that's because in the West we don't produce much anymore. Um, right. So let me paint the analogy to the tribal world. And let me give you, like, I'm talking about this counter argument, and I painted a picture a little bit about that when talking about the freedoms and Adam Smith invisible hand theory and pursuing your own passions and your own desires as a human being. But then let me go even further. Let's get back to the tribal world and compare the situation to the tribal world. Imagine two tribes, one focused on building a strong foundation with advanced technologies, food supply, and a well trained army, and other emphasizing personal passions, exploration, spirituality, creativity, entertainment, without the same commitment to foundational development, right? So basically, one tribe is more focused on technology, on growing army, on um, on food supply, on supply chains, etc. On the physical stuff basically. And the other tribe is focused more on this spiritual stuff, pursuing your passions, don't building an army, more pacifist, pacifistic. I'm not sure if that word exists. Society, basically, right? More peaceful society. But in such a scenario, the tribe focused on the foundational development would quickly destroy the second tribe. They would think about them as a bunch of wussies, and they would just come in on their horses, burn their villages, kill men, and take women and children as slaves. But I'm not so sure if you can translate it to the modern world, because this analogy suggests that a nation with a strong foundation key industries such as technology, engineering, and infrastructure might be better positioned to win the competition. And it's partially true, but I'm not sure if you can 100% translate it into the today's economy. But because we can, um, so again, I'm not sure if you can translate it this example into much more complex modern world scenario where kinetic force is just one among many other aspects of competition, especially in a long-term game, right? So here's the value of the free market. My heart is much closer to Adam Smith's theory, where I believe that the fundamental importance of individual freedom is pursuing passions and life choices, and that in the grand scheme it contributes to the betterment of the society. So if you as a person, if you are interested in art, or if you really want to become a YouTuber, and if you want to talk about the stuff that you're passionate about, then I think you should have the freedom to pursue that. I don't think you should be forced into going into engineering and into working on some kind of weapon industry, right? Because in the short term that might work, but I think that in the long term, societies that are free will always outcompete the societies that are not free, that are totalitarian. So consider the contrast between the free and more restricted societies. Free societies will, with their emphasis on individual creativity and expression, have much better ability to innovate and adapt. Right? Think about it. They're much more flexible. They have much more room, because personal freedom creates an environment where individuals are able to explore their passions and leading to a diverse ideas and solutions. And this might go too far, as I think we're seeing now in the West, in my opinion. But I think it's true. Free societies are much more creative, and they allow for actually better development of technology and all the other fields in the long term. You have to remember that we talk about the long term. And in contrast, societies with more rigid structures and limited individual freedoms may find it challenging to keep pace with the rapid changes and innovations characteristic of the modern world. So the ability to think outside of the box that is possible in free societies often results in creative solutions to complex problems that more controlled environments struggle to generate. So even though a free market can lead to immoral phenomena like coaching coaches to coach coaches, um, I think it's still better in the long term than a centrally planned market um, where we often find not just immoral but evil evil elites controlling the market, you know. So the free market, despite its flaws, allows for innovation and personal freedom and the potential for authentic authentic value creation authentic value creation, and it also fosters an environmental environment where individuals can pursue their passions and contribute to society in a meaningful ways, while centrally planned markets often stifle creativity and they limit personal freedoms and concentrate power in the hands of a few, leading to corruption and inefficiency. So, I want you to take advantage of the flawed free market mechanisms that we are living in right now. So I have made personally the decision to take advantage of the flawed mechanisms of the free market, even with its morally gray areas. And this might sound contradictory to what I said after my previous critique, but bear with me as I explain my reasoning, because ultimately the choice is yours to make. I think we need to embrace the reality, and let's face it, the free market isn't perfect. It's riddled with inefficiencies, loopholes, and yes, immoral practices as well. But instead of fighting against this tide, I choose to ride it. I realized that to make a significant impact and achieve my goals, I needed to understand and leverage those flows to my advantage. And I've made a decision to play the game. Um, Building a successful marketing agency or freelancing business is tough. It requires real work and delivering genuine value to clients. And when I saw people making easy money by coaching others without having real success themselves, I was initially disheartened. However, I soon understood that this was just the nature of the market. People are drawn to shortcuts and promises of quick success, just as I explained, just as the water is always seeking the path of least resistance. And most likely, I won't create any done with you or the do it yourself coaching program where I charge 5k or 15k just to sell you a few videos and give you access to the community with a few videos per week where you basically fight with other students to for my attention and my answer to the questions. I basically answer all the questions in the broad terms, while my main message is to research everything yourself, because everyone is different and you gotta make it work for you, right? That's if you've been in any course, you know this is how it works. You ask some question, maybe about the outreach, maybe about the ads, maybe ads are not performing for your client, and the coach won't help you. They will just take a look. They will maybe give you some advice. Usually it will be very broad advice in very broad terms, um, because they can't know everything. Every niche is different and everyone is different as well. There are many paths to the success, and they will always tell you to try harder and to research more and make it work for yourself. That will be the ultimate answer, right? And if you don't succeed, it will be always your fault. It's never their fault. It's always your fault because look, Dave, he succeeded, but you need to think about this. Like, there will be always outliers. Some people will always succeed, but maybe they will. Some people will always be lucky, and it's not just luck. Some people will have predispositions in certain areas of life. So maybe one guy was great at sales, right? And somehow he succeeded in selling few first clients, and then somehow he actually delivered on the results.